I'm Vince.
And I'm Emily.
And you're listening to the Lighthouse Lowdown. Foghorn gets me every time.
We're using our new setup for the first official recording.
We are, although it seems to keep changing the setup. There's little parts that change every episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to change headphones right now, for example. So where are the other headphones? Are they in the bin?
There's some right here.
I'd like those.
Okay.
Because I sound like a robot from Transformers.
Why Transformers specifically?
It just sounds like the divergent computer. Wah, 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 wah.
Oh, I've never seen Transformers.
Any of them?
No.
Well, the first one's good. I think most people would agree. All right. Today is the day. And I can't find my mouse. Okay. I have a buoy.
Also, apologies to everybody for this podcast coming out a little bit late because I had to recover from travel. Lots and lots of time zone changes.
Where were you, Emily?
I went to Sweden, and then I went to Spain, and then I went to Japan.
That's wild.
Yeah, and our listeners got to hear episodes on Sweden and a Japanese lighthouse. This is a dream come true.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a range light on a lighthouse?
No.
It's a thing.
Oh.
You can see it on the screen.
Oh, I won't look.
I won't show this to the people, but so a range light or a range lighthouse is when there are two lights that appear on the horizon on a lighthouse. So there's two lights coming from one source. And the purpose of those lights is that when you align the two lights, when they appear to be one light, then you know you're on a correct lineage.
What?
Yep. So this is a description.
They're both in the same lantern room? Or are they
No,
different
they're
spots?
one's on a tower, one's on the light room.
Oh.
So range lighthouses appear as two lights on the horizon. However, when you line them up correctly, they appear as one atop the other or one behind the other. A mariner would then know that they are on the correct path into the channel.
So it's like the two lights are in two different locations?
Two different locations, or they're above and below, or in front or behind.
Okay.
Or there's two in the tower. I didn't see any details on it. There are not very many of them, but I assume this is one you talked about recently somewhere that had a weird colored light on a tower.
Yeah, that one's a little different because there's no direction you could travel in which they would overlap because they're being shared in the same tower, but pretty far apart. So I think that was something else, but
they would line up, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go back to Spain.
What?
Yep.
You left Spain behind in the dust.
No, we did not. And we're going to go back to Spain. There's a trail we're going to talk about.
Okay.
So it's a hiking path that is on the coast. I'll show you the map and everything. It's a great website that we're going to shout out like 20 times. Camiño dos Faros, the Lighthouse Way.
Okay.
So it is a...
Why we need to stop picking lighthouses where we have to pronounce things. It's hard enough for it to be in English.
Most of the world is that way.
Yeah.
And I don't speak any Spanish, if you couldn't tell that already. Can't
No.
even order. So
Yeah, we struggled in Madrid.
Camiño dos Faros. First thing, let's go to the map so I can show you where it's at. This map is also from the same website we're going to shout out if you want the source. But if you zoom out, you can see this is all of Spain here.
Mm-hmm.
So Portugal, north of Portugal, the far northwest coast is where this is at. And along this route, there are at least 8,
Lighthouses?
maybe 11 lighthouses.
Oh.
And I say that because I see a couple contradicting sources.
What?
But I think there might be multiple lighthouses at one of the locations, maybe,
Okay.
or several locations, like
Or
an older
maybe,
and newer
like-
build.
Maybe they're not like official or something.
Yeah.
One
Maybe.
of them is a lighthouse I'm going to cover eventually. I can see you have it on there.
Finisterre.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that too. I won't talk about it in detail.
Okay,
so
you better
good
not.
for you. You speak more Spanish than I do. Etapa, does that mean stop?
Sure.
We have a Spanish friend who will correct us on
Like,
this.
what? Yeah, we don't know. I don't know. Don't listen to him. I don't
No
know Spanish.
pronunciation.
I just took Spanish like 10 years ago. Oh, we're going to watch a video?
Yeah, we are going to watch a video.
Okay.
And this is the website. Camiño dos Faros, the Lighthouse Way. So this is already translated for us. But this website is a nonprofit group. Trusky are what they call themselves. They're volunteers and nonprofit. And
just for this lighthouse? Or a collection?
For the area.
Oh, the route. Mm-hmm. The hiking route. Okay. Yep.
And the hiking route is, there's the map again. The hiking route is detailed in their video. But yeah, so 200 kilometers. I have the conversion. I think it's like 124 miles. So people have, let me rewind. I found an article which got me started on this subject. The article was from, I think, the New York Times. It's below. We'll go over it soon.
Okay.
But this lady, what do you call an article writer? Author?
Yeah.
Wow. This author, journalist is, I think the word I was looking for, went to Spain to go on this trip.
Ooh.
And they talked about doing it in 6 days. So she did it in 6 days alone. There's recommendations on this website for 8 days or 10 days. So
she was booking it.
She was booking it. And I think the 8-day is like the standard. And they talk about being on your feet for like 8 or 9 hours a day.
Okay.
So that includes time for stopping. That includes these towns you'll walk through, spending time at lighthouses and beaches and such. So the path was put together by this group. And what they put together, so it's a series of beach paths, like a national, that's not national park, but national park-ish area.
Yeah.
Fishermen's paths.
Protected
and
area.
Then just kind of local maps. So they're all pieced together. So if you average it out, 10 days, you'd be going 12 miles a day. So to me, that doesn't sound like a lot for hiking. But I don't know. It just depends.
Just so everyone knows, Vince and I are very different in our ideas of a good time. Hiking is not one of those things that I would elect to participate in while on vacation.
I go on vacation just to hike. So
you can send me postcards.
So here we go. 8 sections with an average of 9 hours per section, which I like. And that they tell you that builds in the pace of taking photos and stopping. This is the topographical map of the ups and downs.
What's the time layout if you were to drive this instead?
Let's look at the map again. I don't know that you can drive all of it.
Oh, yeah, it looks...
Yeah, the highways are inland. So I'm sure there are roads to all of this.
But it'd be like a mess.
It talks about how all of this hike, it's kind of interesting. All this hike is on popularized areas. They're not highly dense population. I actually have a population map of Spain.
Ooh, cool.
But like there are people around. Very few of them are doing this hike. So it's not like a really popular trail.
Mm-hmm.
But every town, you plan to stop in towns. So you can stay at hotels, Airbnbs, guest houses. There's lots of different places to stay.
That's cool. And it hugs the coastline the entire time. So you never are too far away from the ocean.
Yep. And I was going to show photos this whole time, but we'll just watch the video at the end. It's like 4.5 minutes.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. So,
and for those that are listening to the podcast, you can go to the show notes and watch the video on your own. I'll just cut out audio.
We can post some photos too, but yeah, we'll cut out that audio so they're not just listening to the audio of the video already made for us. But yeah, so it's along beaches, along the coast. There's lots of places to stay. There's lots of good food. I have a comment on the food in Spain in the article.
Oh.
And
all right, I could be convinced to do this hike.
It just
you were gonna
seems like fun.
You were gonna force me to go on a hike sometime.
I mean, I was able to go on a hike once. It was only 35 miles, but it was very, very treacherous as far as change in elevation goes. Is in Alaska.
This is Alaska. 35 miles. You're saying this one's how long?
Well, this is longer in time and in distance. 124 miles distance.
That is bogus.
But like 8 days. We did ours in 5. So we went up and down. Look up the Golden Staircase if you're interested. It's a big change in elevation.
All right, I take it back. I don't want to do this one.
And the Chilkoot Trail. Anyways, but that hike I did in Alaska, we were out in the middle of nowhere. We had a satellite phone. We brought everything in on our backpacks and we camped. And this is a very different type of hike. So this, you'd be staying in hotels, you'd be having showers, you'd be eating out potentially at nice dinners. Depends how much money and time you want to spend. But they'll set this up for you if you want to pay them. There's a package where they'll set it up for the certain days, and they'll hook you up with different places to stay. And then there are even options if you want to not carry your baggage. So you can start on your day and have someone take your luggage if you want all your stuff in a car, and they'll drive to where you're going to end up for the night. Yeah. So you can just have your little day pack on you.
This is like sissy hiking.
Well,
sissy hardcore hiking.
It's not nothing. It's moderate difficulty. There are, again, multiple sources that conflict one another on how difficult this is. The lady who wrote the article was talking about baseball-sized calluses and
on her feet.
Yeah. And some people in the comments were saying no.
Well, she did it in like breakneck speed.
She did.
They didn't even have a suggestion for that type of speed.
She wrecked it, Ralph. So. Was this Fistera? I read that means Land's End.
Yeah. Monica said it's like the lighthouse or
is this what we were looking at?
Yeah, she said it's like the lighthouse at the end of the world or something. Yeah.
Nice. So this in the article was covered as the most populated area that the hikers saw.
Okay.
And it's a termination of this trail. So you go north to south.
Oh, I see.
It said bring sun gear, sun lotion, sunscreen, sunglasses, because you're going to be facing west the whole time, essentially. But yeah, really interesting. I'm going to go back to the website. The website is so good. I really don't typically like to single source my info so much, but
it had it all.
It had it all. And it also, the purpose of the website is to promote people going to the region.
Okay.
It's like a travel
So they did a good job.
Group. Yeah. So it has them in stages here. Because we are the Lighthouse Lowdown, we got to look at this part of their website.
The focus on the lighthouses?
Yeah.
On the Lighthouse Way?
This is the page that shows 8 lighthouses, I'm pretty sure. Nariga, Lighthouse O Rukundu. I cannot pronounce anything.
It's okay.
Lighthouse in Lux, Villan, Muxia. What would you say there?
Just Muxia.
Muxia. Turinan and Finisterre. So it goes on.
I shouldn't be chiming in. I'm not the person who's...
Oh, yeah. We're having you weigh in.
I only saw like 5.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No.
5,
Those
6,
are... This is...
7, 8.
Those...
What?
That says islands.
Yeah, I assume there's lighthouses on the island.
Oh, I see. It's in the distance.
Let's click on it. Yeah, there it is. Right behind the drop down that comes in front of the mouse. So, the main thing I wanted to talk about today is just this trail. And then I thought about talking about all of these lighthouses, and I thought that'd be too much for one episode.
Yeah, we can split it up.
If we want to look into more of Spain's lighthouses, we certainly can. But I have not seen a trail like this. And I assume there are others, maybe in the United States too, where it's a lighthouse hike. I think that's really neat. I've never seen
that. Is cool.
Never seen that lined out, especially a website that's dedicated to it. So there's 11 lighthouses mentioned in the article. 8 of them I found on the website. So that's where I was getting some redundancy from.
I bet it's just like that there's a couple in one location, and they put the most popular one, and then it's like, oh, if you want to go out of your way, there's another one right here.
Right. I want to see if I can find this population density of Spain. This is where Finisterre is.
Yeah.
Kind of get a reference of that area. And then I wanted to show you, so this is their
little pamphlet
document that they actually publish in HD. So it talks about
HD.
Yeah. So it talks about the group. Look at that.
Oh, that looks good.
8 sections, 8 lighthouses,
50
10
beaches,
villages.
Fishing ports, birds.
The food just looks incredible.
Lots of food.
Oh, that was why I wanted to talk about this. This is apparently the capital seafood for Spain.
What is
this coast?
Oh.
It's like the best. It's like most of the food, I guess, that they're known for in the area. Talks about each one. I like the little topographical. You kind of expect how steep it's going to be that day.
Oh, God, that one looked bad.
So this article, I'm going to show you. This lady she had her own opinion. Dina Mishev.
This is the one that hiked it in less than a week
Yeah.
or a week.
Yeah. So I've told you some of the outtakes that I remember, and I highlighted a couple of things I wanted to show you
Okay.
from her article that I thought were interesting. The Coast of Death.
Oh.
So that's Costa de Morta, right? That's this area. And so it was named that from British sailors, according to her, British sailors who there are several notable, really big fish wrecks. Shipwrecks.
I bet a lot of fish died too.
There's one reference where there's over 100 people that died, and I think 3 that survived on that shipwreck.
Oh.
So obviously there's been a need for lighthouses in this region throughout history.
Yeah.
And that explains why they're all in this area. But it is the coast of death, so said. So yeah, and they talk about a group of local friends started piecing the Camiño together in 2013. Fishermen's paths, farm tracks, beaches, livestock trails, and the occasional back road. So that's kind of where all this came together. She's talking about the group.
Okay.
The website. So she's talking about how many people. 320,000 in 2018 hiked the most popular trail, Camiño de Santiago. So there's not a lot of people. She said she had passed 5 other people on the busiest day of this trail when she happened to go. I'm sure there's seasonality to it.
Right.
Yeah, here she talks about some of the food. So Spanish word for gooseneck barnacle and Galician octopus, though. And she's all set. She had to figure those out to order.
Oh, okay.
Barnacles are a regional delicacy, and what many fishermen pass on the trail are harvesting from the steep cliffs of the trails passes above. The trail passes above. The local preparation of octopus is to slice it into discs, saute it in olive oil, and top it with paprika. Serve it on a wooden platter.
That sounds delicious.
I would love to try that. She exaggerates a lot. She talks about boats and waves sounding like gunfire. And so...
Hey, we don't know if she's exaggerating.
It seems exaggerated because if you go down, these are all the credits. And then if you go down to the comments, that is what originally got me excited about this.
A lot of these a lot of the credits are for restaurants. So if you want to look at what food we're talking about.
That's right. This person talks about how an experienced trekker would never do the route that she did and the number of days she did. Giant blisters, of course. Everything is as pretty as it is on Instagram. Everybody's a secret superhero. All you need is some fashionable gear, right? So American.
Oh, brutal. What are they saying? That she did a bad job?
Yeah, everything I just said. So she's just like, he's criticizing her like, this is not a reasonable way to hike the trail. Of course you had a bad experience.
Oh, she was trashing it. I thought she was saying that it was good. Okay.
So a lot of this article I've read and I haven't illustrated to you is her complaining and talking about herself.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where these comments come from.
All right. And did she do the Lighthouse Way exactly, or she did the
trail on her own? She just went on her own. This made me smile. So do you remember Yamon? I can't pronounce it right, but from Spain.
Yeah.
The ham we had everywhere. There's a museum of Yamon in Madrid where we stayed. So this person was talking about being from Galicia, Spain. Did you spend a week there and not even call the ham by its proper name? She called it prosciutto. Really? And she's a journalist? A shame.
Oh my God, brutal.
Yeah. Galicia is a hidden treasure most Americans never know about, mostly. This person says they're suggesting that it's better that the tourists don't know about it because of the quality of tourists.
Oh, wow. She must have, I'll have to read this article. This must have been just a very poor article.
Yeah. I liked the very last comment because it's the last positive light. It's like, despite the writer's bad attitude, poor intro, and predictable end of the story, I did read the article and I want to take this trip. Unfortunately, usually I welcome personal insights, but not this time. Fear of missing out, indeed.
Wow. She
FOMO.
must have really, why would you?
You can read the article.
Okay.
I feel like we can link it up because it was public. I can't remember where it came from. I want to say New York Times. But yeah, all these food recommendations. She talks about getting some really good stuff. Washington Post. That's where it came from.
Neat.
So I want to show you the video now, and then if it stirs a memory, I'll talk about it. But
okay.
I really would like to do this. It'd be a lot of fun.
All right.
Be like a retirement hike. for like a fit retiree.
Yeah. A fit retiree. Yeah, you got to be in shape.
You got to retire early to go on this hike.
We're going to watch the video if anybody wants to watch it and then come back to our podcast, do a little pause, go to our show notes and take a watch. And we'll reconvene.
4.5 minutes. I was going to take like snips of this and then credit the video. And I was like, I think we should just show the video because there's so many snips I wanted to take and they weren't the same quality. They did such a good job. Might as well let them show. So yeah, that's the island that would point it out, the island lighthouse.
So how do you get to it if you're hiking?
I think you see it. You can probably get out there on a boat on a tour.
Okay.
Gorgeous water.
I wish in this video they were showing exactly where you'd be hiking. Like, are they showing these rocks because that's what you're going to be climbing over? Or
I think all this, like that, there's no way you're hiking right there. I think all this is along the route. I think someone took the route and took a drone. That's what this footage reminds me of. So they were like stopping at choice places. But yeah, there's a trail there. It's a nice acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm. They're like, you won't even be working hard.
That is an ancient archaeological find. I can't remember. Castro.
Ruins or something? Why do they look like that?
I can't remember. I read about it in one sentence. Kept going.
That's awesome.
It said do not take tennis shoes.
What?
Hiking boots for sure.
Oh, I see. So it's probably not like it's not a well-traveled trail.
Well, it's a combination of so many different types of terrain. I mean, some you're probably walking on a road.
Yeah.
And some, like we saw, literally over a rock. I would not want to do 124 miles in 6 days.
Yeah, that'd be a little much.
That's pretty.
That's cool. Great shot.
I feel like you'd see a ton.
Yeah. Fair enough. This is a different one. There must be a couple lighthouses per location sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the website. Track ski. Those are the people. So Camiño Camiño dos Faros.com.
Vince and I were saying during this video that they are showing the places that you'll come across while you're hiking, but they don't really show the conditions in which you will be hiking. He said that you'll want to be wearing hiking boots instead of tennis shoes, which I would have been in the tennis shoe club.
Yeah, I can't remember there was a quote in one of the comments that was like, it was like kind of poorly translated. Like, it would be a fool to wear tennis shoes or something like that. It would be a fool's errand or something.
Yeah.
Something that made me smile. But Google Translate doing its best.
I'm thinking all these places that you'd be crossing through are really pretty. But if you're going to be working so hard to get from A to B, I wonder how much you'd actually be able to enjoy like each of these places. It's like you would travel and stay somewhere and get to see everything. It's like, are you just seeing it while you're passing, or are you going and getting to experience it without being dead tired?
It depends on your fitness, for sure. But they talk about they built in time for you to see everything. So to visit the lighthouse, to take pictures, to stop and eat, I think it's kind of build your own adventure.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be cool. But yeah, I think hiking boots, camera, water, maybe a snack or two, some Twinkies in the bag.
Sunscreen.
Be fueled up. So is this one you were thinking of?
No, well, let me do some research and then I'll do an episode on it.
All right. Some beautiful photos. This is their mascot. They keep showing.
It's like a little...
it's got a very curly Q hat on.
It's like a gnome.
Travel gnome.
Not Travelocity.
Totally unsponsored. All right, yeah. So
That's
short one today. I don't know. It's just cool.
Never
I think
would have thought there'd be a hike dedicated to seeing lighthouses.
That's going to be it.
So we're done.
All right.
Technical difficulties over here in the pod.
Yep.
We've left it alone for too long.
It's a rough day getting back to it, but it's what happens when you have awesome adventures all over the world. You got to come home and get your podcast back up to speed.
Yeah, you got to get everything straightened back out.
Yep.
But that's a very cool topic. I like that. And one of these days we'll cover each of the lighthouses that they have on this trail.
One last thing, because I just saw it on the screen.
Okay.
Up there, the green arrow by the little guy,
yeah.
the little Trotsky, they have those painted along the trail.
Oh,
so they help you to know that you're still on path.
That's good.
Fun fact.
I'd be stressed out for, how do they keep it? Do they come by and repaint it often? Or?
Yeah, trail management.
Oh, okay.
Just like everywhere.
Neat.
Yep.
I don't know anything about hiking. So
my grandpa did trail management when he was a young man, like with a
Really?
chainsaw and an axe.
Oh my gosh.
In the middle of Washington State. So
just make sure it's passable and
Yep.
I would not have guessed that's a job you could have.
Yeah. Pretty cool, especially back in the day. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. Kind of a shorter episode. Keep up to date. We've got a couple more coming.
Yeah, gotta keep up to date as we're getting back into the podcast life after.
Where can they find our podcast?
Well, you can find us on Spotify or Apple or Google or anywhere you find your podcasts, and you can get a link to each of those on our website, podpage.com/lighthouselowdown. And you can find the link to that in our Linktree link, which is going to be in our show notes. And that link will also take you to our Instagram and social media and stuff. If you want to find us on LinkedIn or whatever.
See pictures from this Lighthouse episode and almost every episode?
Oh, I think all of them.
Every episode. Check out the Instagram.
I created the Instagram a little bit late, but I did post to catch up. So I think they're all on there.
Very nice. YouTube is also live. It should have every episode after, I want to say 19, and I still need to catch up and do the first ones. But for now, we're just keeping up.
Yeah.
Keeping up with the YouTube days.
Yeah, so. It's enough just to keep up.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed listening, and we'll catch you next time on The Lighthouse Lowdown.